All right, thank you, Stacey. After the peace deal between Israel and Hamas, President Trump is turning his attention to Russia's war with Ukraine.
Today, the president is hosting the Ukrainian president at the White House. Let's bring in CBS News correspondent Naomi Ruchim live in New York for us this morning with more on what we can expect to come out of that meeting. Naomi, good morning.
Sandra and Lauren, good morning. A key part of today's conversation will revolve around the U.S. giving Ukraine Tomahawk missiles. These weapons would be crucial in Ukraine's fight against Russia because they have an impressive range of about 1,000 miles and are known to be quite precise. Though the missiles are relatively slow, they fly about 100 feet off the ground, making them harder to detect. Tomahawks are considered the go-to weapon for hitting targets deep inside enemy territory. Fresh off his big win securing a Middle East peace deal, President Trump now hopes to do the same for Ukraine and Russia.
We're going to get it stopped.
Today, President Trump meets with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. The two are expected to discuss the president's lengthy phone call yesterday with Russian leader Vladimir Putin.
I thought it was a very good phone call. I thought very productive.
Afterwards, President Trump announced that he and Putin will hold a summit in Budapest, like the one the two had in Alaska back in August. So far, no date has been set, though the president says a U.S. delegation led by Secretary of State Marco Rubio will hold high-level talks with Russian officials next week to lay the groundwork. The White House says the president still hopes to get Putin and Zelensky in the room together eventually.
This war, he has always said, is going to have to end at the negotiating table.
With Russia launching more attacks ahead of today's meeting, Zelensky is expected to press the president to give Ukraine long-range Tomahawk missiles. The president says he asked Putin about that yesterday.
I did actually say, would you mind if I gave a couple of thousand Tomahawks to your opposition? I did say that to him. I said it just that way. He didn't like the idea.
The Kremlin says that giving Ukraine Tomahawks could damage prospects for a peaceful settlement. In recent months, President Trump has expressed growing frustration with President Putin, accusing him of prolonging the war. But President Trump has not gone so far as to impose new U.S. sanctions on Russia. The president is also relying on some diplomacy from First Lady Melania Trump, who has been working with Moscow to bring Ukrainian children home to reunite with their families. Sandra and Lauren.
All right, CBS News' Naomi Ruchim live from New York. Thank you so much for joining us.